Good morning and welcome. I'm Dr. Vanessa Falconorta, Faculty Director for the Cross-Cultural Center at San Diego State University, Imperial Valley. And today we are featuring HELS, the Higher Education Legal Services from the Jewish Foundation family. And today they're going to be talking about their free legal services for documented and undocumented students, as well as much more. This is a welcoming space for you to ask questions. Any questions that you might have, you're welcome to ask them in English, Spanish, Spanglish. And here, Carol, Veronica, and Marisa from the Higher Education Legal Services will be more than happy to answer your questions. So with no further ado, I now give the floor to HELS.
Thank you, Dr. Falcon. My name is Carol. I am the program manager of HELS. I use she and her pronouns. And welcome, bienvenidos. Estamos muy felices que estén aquí. Glad you are here. And as Dr. Falcon said, we want you to ask any question that you have today. That's what today is all about. So we also want you to make yourself comfortable. You can go on screen or off screen. You can change your name or put whatever name you want in there. If you're asking questions that might help us know how to respond to you. You can put anything in chat. We'll be watching the chat for questions. You can raise a hand or even go off mute. We'll just want to hear from you. Pueden hacer preguntas en inglés o en español, cualquiera. Podemos empezar con, let's see. Veronica will be talking next and introducing herself as well.
Hi, everyone. Buenos días a todos. Thank you so much for being here today. This is going to be something that we've been thinking about, like to introduce ourselves, but also to get to know you. So maybe if you can please share in the chat if you're a student, if you're a faculty, if you're a staff, that will also give you a better, will give us a better idea of how we can better try to present ourselves to you. Muchas gracias por estar hoy aquí. Si por favor pueden ponernos en el chat si son staff o students o estudiantes o si son profesores aquí, la verdad que estaríamos muy agradecidos porque entonces podemos hacer las preguntas un poquito más especializadas para ustedes. Don't be like, this is like a space again for like everyone to share. If you have something individual, you can pick from the chat to just send it to us. If you want to share it with everyone, it's a general question, please raise your hand, you can unmute, you can type, we're going to make it fun. So we have some questions that we thought could be interesting for you, like for example, who we are, how we can help you, where you can find us, why you will ever think about like coming to our service. So entonces las preguntas que pensamos es ¿quiénes somos? Like, ¿quiénes son estos HELS? ¿Dónde nos pueden encontrar? Like, ¿cómo hacemos para conectarnos? ¿Y por qué yo tendría que estar haciendo una cita con este servicio? So we're trying to answer those questions, but before that, we have a question for you. So, entonces, antes de comenzar con estas preguntas sobre nosotros, vamos a empezar con una pregunta para ustedes. Y sabemos que es una cuestión que arma mucho debate, así que a ver cómo nos va. Y ahora Marisa va a seguir.
Hi, good morning. Buenos días todos. My name is Marisa. I am the CC, so Community College Coordinator with HELS. So I work really closely with those campuses. But as Veronica said, this is the question of the hour. Are Cheetos considered chips or not chips? Our staff, the immigration team at Jewish Family Service, one random morning, someone asked this question and it was a huge debate. It was pretty divided. A lot of people say that Cheetos are not considered chips. Some people say that they're considered puffs. And some people are like, no, they're chips. So our question to you is, what do you think Cheetos are? Are they puffs? Are they chips? Are they not chips? What are they? So you can go ahead and put it in the chat, or raise your hand, unmute yourself if you want. Carol says she doesn't think they're chips. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in the not chip. I don't know if this will transfer live on here. It does. Okay, not chips. Wow. Not chips. Wow, I think they're chips.
I think Marisa, you're outnumbered here.
I am outnumbered. This is
Pauline
not
is
right.
with you.
This is not okay. I have a chips. I have someone who thinks they're chips. Okay, and then so far we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 not chips. Wow. Is this what everyone thinks? So I think everyone voted. Veronica, what's your vote?
So I'm not a Cheeto fan, so that's a problem. So I would say they're not. I think they're not chips. And my position there is, for me, chip is a little bigger, and you kind of like dip it in things, and that's when you will like really consider it a chip. But if like a crunchy thing, just like snacky, is not a chip. So it's
But I have a rebuttal to that. I mean, hot Cheetos, you can dip them in like salsa, or like you can put Valentina on them. And I say you could do that with regular chips too, right? Some food for thought. But thanks everyone and cheese. Yes, hot nacho cheese. I've also heard people dip them in cream cheese too. I don't know if anyone has ever done that before. But
Cheetos.
And chamoy, yeah. And squeeze some limon on there too. I would say that's a chip meal. But hopefully I tried to convince you. If it's not going to work, it's fine. But we can go ahead and continue with the next slide.
Okay, thanks for your patience as I get off mute. All right, now we are ready. We had some warm up for questions and how to respond and having a discussion. So we're ready. Do you have questions for us that you want to put in the chat? Raise your hand or just go off mute and ask. Here is an opportunity.
I do have a question. I supervise student assistants at our campus. And one of the questions that have been brought up is, what if a student doesn't have permission to work in the United States? Can they still work as a student assistant?
All right, that is a great question. Veronica, do you want me to start? Do you want to take that?
Yes, so thank you, Susana. So actually, that's one of the topics that we are researching, and we're trying to create more opportunities. So if you don't have permission to work in the United States, you cannot be employed. You will not pass the E-Verify. You will not have that legal requirements to be employed. However, we can put in the chat maybe some of the links, Marisa, for Immigrants Rising right now. So there's some opportunities, and even more so that DACA is not an option for many, where you can work as an independent contractor. So for working as an independent contractor, you will get your ITIN. And we, maybe Susana, we can invite you to the next workshop. So we had one in June, and we're going to have another one in November. So we invited career staff. We invited the Undocumented Resource Center. We invited financial aid staff from the different colleges, and they all kind of like brainstorm about this specific issue. because some of the students, so like many of the undocumented students on campus right now, they cannot even have the DACA permit. So they're trying to create these connections. So for community colleges, they have now like a fellowship paid by the state where you can get what is called a stipend. So it's not considered a salary. So it can be paid through grants, it can be paid through other ways that is not considered a salary. And Carol, please jump in at any point there. And then we have some other grants that is called the CADA grants, and those are for students that they are AB 540. So there's some information about that too, Susanna, that we can share. And also there's yeah, some fellowships and internships, some this other grant CADA that is like a certain amount of hours that you have to comply working for a nonprofit or a project, and then you will get paid, but you don't get paid a salary. So the golden rule is if you don't have permission to work in the United States, you cannot work. However, there are other ways that they're now being provided that will allow you to generate income opportunities for those that are undocumented.
Yeah, thanks, Veronica. And I think just to add to that, the key thing is that without work authorization, a person cannot be employed, right? Employed by somebody else. But like Veronica said, people can be very creative. Independent contracting is something people can do, and owning a business is something people to do. So as we are working with campuses, because we hear this question at other places as well, and so we're working on learning more ourselves. Many campuses have been partnering with like the business department about how to be an independent contractor or how to start a business, because that can sound daunting. However, folks, students, people are very creative and very industrious and can do that, right? That can be a real option. Any follow-up questions to that one or other things that we can answer?
No, thank you for answering that question, and I will be on the lookout for that training in November. And I'll make sure to invite our financial aid coordinator so that she can attend the training as well.
Perfect, thank you.
And as you're thinking of questions, si tienen otras preguntas o si están pensando en preguntas, tenemos más que podemos decir sobre nuestros servicios. Is this me as well? Okay, excellent. Okay, so what is HELS? What do we offer? So Higher Education Legal Services provides free legal services for students, faculty, and staff affiliated with a CSU or a community college in San Diego and Imperial Valley. So importantly, the CSUs, so San Diego State students, staff, and faculty can also have immediate family members get these free legal services, as well as alumni for up to 2 years after graduation. So really great for the CSU students. The legal services, importantly, are entirely confidential. So no one at the campus will know if someone makes an appointment. No one in the government knows you've made an appointment. And it is even very confidential, a lot of privacy security that we do within our own organization. So it's really important to us that this is very confidential and all of your information is totally private. So you are at Imperial Valley, SDSU. But you can make those appointments at any of the schools. So we have virtual appointments at 11 different schools. So 9 community colleges and 2 CSUs here in the South San Diego and Imperial Valley area. So, and all of them do it virtually. So we'll show you exactly how to make those appointments. If the day doesn't work for you, that is set aside for San Diego State, you can make an appointment on with kind of technically with any of the colleges, or go to other campuses. For example, if we're at the Imperial Valley College, then anyone from this campus could go there when we are there on site. Now, there are government application filing fees, and those are not technically covered through our program. However, we do have access to DACA filing fees and to naturalization or citizenship filing fees. So while there sometimes are costs with the application filing fees, do check, don't let that stop you, because we can check and see if that can get covered in various ways. And then what kind of cases can you come get help with at Higher Education Legal Services, or HELS? Those services include DACA renewals and DACA initials. So if you have not applied for DACA yet, well, that is still in limbo, not technically being filed, you can still come to us. If you have any questions about applying for DACA, certainly come and find out more. We do family-based petitions. We do asylum, U visas for those who have been victim of a crime. We have advanced parole, naturalization or citizenship. We do background checks and what's called FOIA. So checking if you want to know what information the government, like if you've gone through a checkpoint and you don't know what happened there, the government has that, we can find out. And also really importantly, we have removal defense, which is also special for the CSUs. So if someone is picked up, is detained, we have free services to assist in that case as well. Anything to add to that, Veronica? Okay.
Sí, bastante más para poner aquí. Entonces, lo más importante de acordarnos es que este servicio es un servicio que viene con dinero del estado de California, y por eso todas las consultas, y no solo la consulta, sino además que la representación en su caso es gratuita. Ustedes no pagarían nada, lo cual cuando uno sabe que por ahí tiene que pagar $1,000 o $2,000 a un abogado, en este caso el servicio es gratuito. Sin embargo, el dinero que hay que pagar a USCIS, al Estado, al gobierno de inmigración para presentar la aplicación, ese dinero no lo podemos cubrir excepto que sean 2 casos. Nosotros podemos pagar por casos de naturalización. Son esas personas que están listas para ir de su green card, porque son residentes permanentes y ahora están pensando en ser ciudadanos. Podemos pagar ese fee también, así que sería 0 costo. 0 por el abogado, el servicio legal, y 0 por el dinero para el gobierno. Y también con los DACA. Si uno tiene DACA para renovar, o uno tiene que estar pensando a ver si puede aplicar a un DACA inicial por primera vez, entonces ese servicio también lo podrían hacer por 0 costo, porque el servicio legal es gratuito y el dinero es gratuito también para el gobierno. Hay que aprovechar esas oportunidades mientras están. And now we're going to see here some of the questions that we usually will see in our consultations. So some of the examples, for example, if you think that you may qualify for DACA, like you're hearing the news, so DACA initials are still being accepted. I was brought to the United States as a child. Maybe this is something that applies to me. Come and make the consultation, because we may be able to help you we may be able to guide you. And while we do the questions to see if you qualify for DACA or not, we also screen for all these other possibilities. So it's very worth it to make that consultation. Or sometimes it's a question about a family member. And because you're part of San Diego State, your family members can also benefit from this service. So if you have mom or dad or your siblings that they're thinking of becoming citizens, they can come to our consultation and they can have the service for free. Or if you have, for example, a brother that is thinking about filing a petition for mom or dad, then it will be something that we can actually also assist with. So these are all services available for you, yourself, your siblings, your spouses, your children, and your parents. So this is a great opportunity for all. Other questions that we get, for example, we have an interview and then during the interview you say like, oh yeah, I think my mom has a petition that my grandma filed around the year 2000, but we don't know anything about it because we moved. So that could be something that maybe indicates that you may do have a benefit. So we will do is that we will try to gather those records that your mom cannot file. And we do through a service that is called a FOIA, and that's also free for you. And we can request to USCIS, to the Immigration Office, to CBP, to please send us the records, and then we will come see and we can explain to you what is your situation. One thing that we also emphasize is all like empowering you, like knowing your rights. Una cosa muy importante que hacemos en nuestras consultas es explicar exactamente cuál es tu situación, la situación de tu familia, porque no hay nada más poderoso que conocer tus derechos. So, no solamente vamos a decir si calificas para un remedio de inmigración o no, pero además te vamos a decir, si no calificas para un remedio de inmigración, estas son las cosas que tenés que estar pensando por si viene inmigración a tu casa y cómo defenderte. So, nuestra consulta además ofrece esto que lo llamamos un plan de emergencia familiar. Y es básicamente caminar juntos por un programa para saber, ok, si mamá o papá están detenidos por inmigración, ¿qué va a pasar con la renta? ¿Qué va a pasar con el carro? ¿Qué va a pasar con los niños pequeños en la casa? ¿Con quién se van a quedar? ¿Cuáles son los papeles que yo tengo que tener listos de papá o mamá si viene inmigración para saber cómo defenderlos? ¿Dónde los voy a ubicar si son detenidos? So, todas esas preguntas también las podemos ayudar. So I don't know if anyone has any other question, or if there's any other question that is not listed here and that you want to know if we can help with, please go ahead and type it. You can type it directly to us, so you can raise your hand if you have another question.
I do have a question, and this is another question that one of our students brought up to me. Does a student need a parent's permission in order to start this process? Do they have to be of a certain legal age?
That's a very good question. So usually this, because we are providing services to college students, so you're already 18, correct? So that's something that if, for example, you want to see if you apply for DACA initial, you don't need your parents' consent to do so. You will need to submit your birth certificate or documents that may be with your parents, but it's up to you. So if, for example, we have instances where parents will come to the consultations with their children that they were like 17 or 16 years old, and we see that the child wants to file and the parents, they may be more hesitant. So we have ways to address those conflicts, and we divide the representation to who is going to be our client. And then we kind of like block the people that will not be joining in this petition because there's a conflict of interest. So the answer is that there's no need for parental consent for most of the applications. If you're like over 18, if you're a minor, we have sometimes some instances where we may want to check some information that the child is okay about, maybe disclosing information about the parents, that if the parents have an open case may expose the family. So we disclose everything to the child, like the pros and the cons of moving forward with something that will present some issues. Sometimes we have children that they are in direct conflict with their parents, for example, for special immigrant juvenile status. For qualifying for that, the child needs to show that parents have been neglectful or they have been causing some damage to that child. So in that case, of course, there's no parental consent. The fact that the parents are failing that child will qualify him or her to this remedy. And anyone that is under 21, we screen for that as well. And we've been seeing a lot lately of those cases surfacing. So that's another remedy where actually there's a conflict between parents and children. U visa and VAWA cases. That's another petitions where like it's based in abuse, it's based in something that happened from someone that could be in your family. And the person that is abusing you may or may not have a status, but if your parent is abusive and is undocumented, you may have a U visa claim. Or if the person that is abusing you is someone that has a status, you may have a VAWA case. So again, it depends on the different circumstances. If you're going to file a family petition, they need to sign the forms because they may be petitioning you. So in that case, you will need to have everyone joining. So it does varies, but we assess that in the initial consultation. So if someone has any questions, they can come to us, and for that, you don't need consent to come to our consultation. So everyone can access our consultation. So you come to the consultation, and then after that, we'll see. I don't know if that answers Susana the question.
Yes, you did. Thank you very much.
All right, if there's no other questions, I think we're going to hear from Marisa next.
Yeah, so as Veronica was saying, it's really important to schedule that individual consultation so that you get that, individual attention and help and guidance tailored to your situation. So Carol right here is showing the website that we have where you can schedule an appointment. I'll go ahead and drop the information, the link down here in the chat. And so it's pretty simple. You're going to get to this main page, and we have a little description of the types of services that we offer. If you scroll down a bit more, it has the same information we shared today, the different types of services that we offer, and a couple of frequently asked questions. And so to go back up, you can see the schedule an appointment button. So that's where you would click for that. And then it'll kind of take you to this pop-up page. And here is where it has the same information, the types of different consultations that we offer with little descriptions. So if you come and you know that you want to make an appointment, but you're not too sure what type of appointment you need to make, hopefully this these blurbs can guide you to know which one you would fit best for your situation. And As a reminder, they're all completely confidential. And so if you scroll down a bit more, we have some COVID reminders because it's still happening right now. So just be safe. And here is where you would choose whether you would prefer a virtual or in-person appointment. So we do offer both, but we don't have in-person appointments at all of our 11 campuses. Right now, we do have in-person services for SDSU at the main campus and CSU San Marcos. But as Veronica and Carol said, you can make an in-person appointment at any of the 11 different colleges or the ones that we do have in-person services at. And you also can make a virtual appointment with any of the colleges that are listed there to maximize the availability for you. So Carol, if you want to go ahead and make a fake appointment, go ahead. You can click virtual. And say you wanted to do a general consultation. So you would click general consultation because you just have some general questions that you want to ask. And then you go down. And so here is where you would choose the school that you're affiliated with. I believe for SDSU, the current days are Mondays and Tuesdays that we take consultations. But if none of those days work for you, you can choose any other colleges and kind of look at their availability. But let's go ahead and schedule an appointment for next week, the 26th. You choose the time that you'd like, continue, and then it'll just take you to our intake form. And I do want to know, writing your full name is really important just because we do have our own privacy and safety measures at JFS. And so we want to make sure that we're not creating double profiles for people who have already received JFS services in the past. So making sure that this contact information is correct and accurate is really important. You can put mine or any fake number right now. And so if you scroll down a bit, this intake form is also important to try to be as specific as you can. I am the program scheduler right now, so I take a look at this and I try to fit you with someone on our team who can best help you, depending on the types of services and consultation you're seeking. So if it's just a general consultation and you just have general questions, be as specific as you can. Explain your situation or explain the types of questions you're looking to be answered. If this was like a DACA renewal appointment, we would ask that you include your EAD expiration date and details like that. And then these are just kind of general questions. Are you a staff, student, immediate family member? So if you are making an appointment for your parent, you would make sure to include your parent's name, not your name when you're making the appointment, and then indicate that they are a immediate family member. And preferred language, right now we have caseworkers who can help in English, Spanish, and Russian. So if that applies to you, we have that available. And yeah, the rest of these questions are pretty straightforward. If you heard us from email, you can click as many as you want, and then you'd create your appointment. And then I would then go look at that appointment that you made. You will also be receiving an email confirmation from our scheduling site. And then I would then follow up with you with the Zoom link if it was a virtual appointment. And if it's an in-person appointment, the caseworker who is working with you will send you instructions or further questions that they may have before your consult. So we always try to communicate with you beforehand to make sure that you're prepared before the consult. But that's how you make an appointment. Veronica said the list of types of appointments is just a guide. Yes, we cover so many different topics. So if you're ever in doubt, yeah, choose general consultation, because I know sometimes we just have a ton of questions about everything. So when in doubt, just choose that option. Any questions at all about how to make an appointment? Any logistical stuff like that? I think it's pretty straightforward. And so I dropped that link there in the chat. If you just want to save that, bookmark it, share it with other peers and students at SDSU. And we'll have time for more questions too at the end. But I know Veronica wanted to talk a little bit about what to expect at an appointment, and the kinds of things that are going to be asked during your consultation.
Yeah, thank you. And I think we're almost getting to the end of the presentation, so we'll try to make it quick. So the way that we work with you will be like a multi-layer, multi-step process. So we are always there for you. We really like to be very thorough, and our approach with each case is a holistic approach. So we don't see each client just for the legal question, but we kind of like want to have like a big picture of like, where is this client situated right now? So if there are other needs going in their house, if maybe they're missing the appointments because they're like food issues, health issues, other things going on, because Jewish Family Service also has access to other services that we may be able to connect or not. Is, for example, this is a case of a student that is suffering abuse. We may try to connect them with some mental health services that we have in our program. For example, we have Project Sarah that may be able to work with them if they need to leave the home. We also ask the students or the staff of the faculty to see if they want to be connected to other services on campus. And once they give us the release of information that they both sign, then we can contact, for example, Dr. Falcon and say, hey, this is in need of access to the food pantry, or this student is facing eviction right now, and they may want to be connected with emergency housing. So again, this is only after the student or the faculty or the staff gave us this specific release of information, what is a permission to share the information. Otherwise, everything that comes to us stays with us. So that's why we have this way of doing the appointment. You go, you click, and it goes to Marisa, that you're seeing her right now. And she will be the one that does the magic, linking that appointment to any of our attorneys or accredited representatives to work in your case. There's no back and forth communication with the school. Like, we will never go back to Dr. Falcon or the dean or Henry Villegas saying, hey, these are the type of cases, these are the names of the people that is coming to us. Absolutely not. That will be breaching our duty of confidentiality with our clients. So we do cover that during the interview. So we will introduce ourselves, and then we will explain what confidentiality means. And then after that, we will move forward into an extensive questionnaire about, like, who do you live with? What is your immigration history? How did you enter? How many times did you enter? When was the first time that you entered? When was the last time when you entered? With what happened in these different entries? And those questions are going to be specific boxes that we're going to be clicking in our heads to see where we can lead your next set of questions, right? So this is like we have a very thorough intake that guide us to the different map of opportunities to see what is available for you right now. So once we identify, yes, you qualify for DACA initial, or yes, we can move forward with your adjustment of status, or yes, you can start the petition for your parents that they're living in Mexico and you want to bring them over. So once we identify that we can provide that representation, then we will go into the second step, that is to provide you with a service agreement. And that's a contract that's going to be between yourself and our program to provide the specific representation. And that's in written form that you need to sign and you need to review. We will request that you are like diligent, that you are like honest, and we will also have the responsibility to be very responsive in your case. That may require to have multiple appointments, right? So we will request you to bring all your tax returns depending on the appointment. If it is a DACA application, you need to submit evidence that you were in the United States since June 2007 until today. That's a lot of years. That's a lot of documents. So the sooner we start on that, the better. So it will require multiple appointments. Sometimes in the first consultation, we're able to assess that there's no possible relief at the time because the laws in immigration are not allowing for that to happen right now. So we will let you know, we will give you resources, we will like advise you on what are your defenses, and then we will close the case. That doesn't mean that if things change in your life, you cannot come back. You can always come back if there's other things that are happening. So I think that's in a nutshell, the services and how the consultations go.
I'm on mute. Thank you, Veronica. That's really important information to know because I know when we sign up for a legal consultation, it can sound, pretty daunting and you don't know what to expect. But hopefully this kind of prepares you with, at least how a HELS consult goes, and to know that, we are here to help you. But being prepared will not only help the consultation go smoother for you, but for us as well. And so just something to keep in mind. But with that, if you do have, any other, questions about your own specific situation, please make sure to reach out and make that consultation with us. We'll go ahead and drop the information, all of our contact information. So we have our email, phone number, website, and Instagram. So I just dropped that in the chat. Our email and phone, you can go ahead and call at any time. You can leave a voicemail and send an email to us about anything, any question you might have. And Instagram, we do post about our presentations and workshops and any news that we come across. So we share that. And so I also wanted to share some of our other upcoming presentations that we have coming up. So we have a list of fall workshops that we have planned, and the next one coming up is going to be on DACA updates. So if that is of interest to you, make sure to register for that. I'm going to go ahead and drop that in the chat. I have 3 flyers that I'm dropping. So the first one is this gonna, sorry, give me one quick second. Am I allowed to drop this in the chat? I'm not sure if it's allowing me. But in the meantime, the DACA updates workshop is going to be set for August 24th at 12 p.m. And so you can register through Zoom, and we can also share this information with Dr. Falcon to let you all know about that. And then we're also going to be having a Know Your Rights session. That's going to be happening September 29th, I believe, also at 12 via Zoom. So all community members are welcome, not just, students or faculty. You can invite, your parents or anyone that you think would benefit from this information. And also Spanish subtitles will be provided for all the workshops, just as they were provided today. We also have Spanish speakers that are going to be present at all of the workshops. So if you have a question in Spanish that you wanted to ask, we'll be able to help you with that. I'm seeing some questions in the chat. Yes, Veronica, you can also drop in any suggestions that you have about presentations or topics that you think you would benefit from. And in-person appointments, yes. So in-person appointments, we currently offer them at I believe 6 of our campuses right now. So SDSU, the main campus, we provide those in-person appointments on Tuesdays. And CSU San Marcos, we provide those on Thursdays. And if you want to maybe find an in-person appointment at a community college, we offer that right now at Southwestern College, Cuyamaca College, Miracosta College, and IVC. We're still trying to get that, but we can definitely make something work. If we have enough time to plan that and reach out to someone, we can do that for sure.
Yeah, that's a question that we are trying to see. We're trying to combine because it's a long trip for us. So we're just going to make sure that we have a tandem group of staff coming. So we're trying to see if we can coordinate the date, the tentative date for IVC to be the same day that we can go to San Diego IB. So that's the ideal goal right now. We're working with Carol, trying to do like, it's like a really like a matrix of moving all the campuses. It's a lot of campuses to cover, but we're really looking forward. We saw the benefit of being in person over there this last time to get to know each other. The presence is very important also to build this trust for the students, right? So they see us there. We are working on that. We don't know yet what could be the date to start this, but definitely we're looking into that right now. Even if we don't have a definite space, we may be able to reserve a room just once a month, like a career fair interview room, or something like that we're doing at the other colleges. And it's because it's just so limited, it's not that difficult to have that access to the private space.
Yes, and I'm copying and pasting the 3 most upcoming presentations that are coming up. And so you can find information to register these at our Instagram. That's probably the easiest way to do that. And I'll go ahead and copy that again. Our Instagram is HELS_SD. And we'll include all of the registration links in our link tree in our bio. So you can go ahead and access that, give us a follow, and we'll be posting about that soon to remind you about that.
And we're also going to share the finalized flyer with all the links at the next check-in, Dr. Falcon. So of August, we're looking forward to just have the finalized version of the flyer with all the links and all the workshops so you can post. Oh, I know that some campuses also get that flyer and they make it their own. And they also post in their Instagram page because it's something that is like a co-presentation. Like I know Cynthia does that. So you're welcome to also get that information and put it in your social media as well, promoting those workshops.
Yes, and Susana, we're going to have that presentation. That's the entrepreneurship web presentation on November 15th. And so that one, they're all going to be via Zoom at 12 p.m. So yes, I'm trying to send the pictures through the chat, but I don't think that's working.
Yeah. And I think for Susana, we can also forward her all the materials of the presentation that we had in September. that session was recorded. So you can actually listen to some of the discussion and you can see the materials that were provided. So we will also, I got her email, so we can email her that as well. And one other clarification about the Know Your Rights in September is not the usual Know Your Rights workshops that we do monthly on the different campuses. This is a different one that is focusing specifically know your rights if you get deported. So it's going to be especially focusing on what happens is, for example, you get a notice to appear or you get placed in removal proceedings. So it's a very specific know your rights. It's not the usual one about like the checkpoints and what to do if ICE comes to your house. This is more specifically to promote the removal defense services. That's also not very, it's a service that we can offer, but I don't think it's so widely acknowledged. So if you get a notice to appear, if you know that mom or dad had a prior, or yourself, you have a prior removal order, and you don't know what happened with your case, it's a good time to know what happened with your case. Sometimes people just say, oh no, I just like got that and it didn't go to court. And then you have what we call an order in absentia. Although you didn't go to the hearing, they did order you removed. So it's very important to know, and that is because it may affect the way that ICE may act once if they detain you again. So it's very important, like always, power is knowing where you're standing. Like you need to know what is your immigration story to know how to defend properly.
And Marissa, I know you wanted to share pictures. Feel free to share them with me, and I'll share them with our campus community. Particularly, I will be sharing today's recording, and then that will also be good resources for our students, faculty, and staff to have.
Great, thank you. I'll go ahead and share those flyers with you. And I think that about wraps it up. So if you have any lingering questions at all, go ahead and throw them in the chat or ask it. We're here to answer.
This isn't a question. I just wanted to say thank you, Doctora Falcon, and everyone at the Higher Education Legal Services Program for providing this informational session for us. Thank you.
Of course. Yeah, thank you for coming and asking questions and participating. We really appreciate that.
We count on you as our like eyes and ears on campus. So if you know anyone that is looking for services, now you have been trained, now you have been enforced, so you have the power to help others. Okay, we're counting on you.
Yes, and I think one important thing to note is that even if you're not sure if you yourself are HELS eligible, or if the people that you're referring are HELS eligible, we have a wide range of programs here at the Immigration Department at Jewish Family Service. So if we can't help you, then we can definitely try and guide you to other programs here that can help you.
Thank you, Dr. Falcon, again for this.
Thank you to everyone for coming. And
thank you.
Yes.
No, absolutely. Thank you so much. This was very informative from the workshops that you're providing to the legal services that are available. I will make this information available to our campus community, students, faculty, and staff. They'll have the recording. And for those who might be tuning in after today's session, you can get the information, of course, here in the recording, but also just to highlight once again, if you have follow-up questions, Carol, Veronica, and Marisa's contact information will be provided for you via email, as well as the HELS website, the jfssd.org/HELS will also be provided for you. And yeah, we look forward to continuing to collaborate. I know you're going to be back on our campus once again, it sounds like on August 2nd. And then we definitely have to organize and make make the in-person sessions available also for SDSU Imperial Valley. So that will also be in the works for us as well. Well, with no further ado, we want to be mindful of your schedule. So this is the end of our session, but I do want to just give the last word, the concluding, whether it be insights or just thoughts to Carol, Veronica, and Marisa.
Just thank you for being part of this, for learning, for knowing what the services are for the campus communities. And we look forward to continuing to be in community and partnering with you on providing these services.
Sí se puede. Don't stop dreaming.
Yes, thank you all for your time, for taking time on Friday morning to join us and learn about us. But just feel free to contact us about any question you may have, anything at all about this, so we can just help you out and guide you to whatever you may need.
Wonderful. Well, have a great rest of your day, and we will be in communication and in community. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Adiós. Bye.